And we're back. Hi, everyone. Water from my sip. Do you love my Stanley? Look, it's the Barbie one. Look how pretty she is. Little Barbie face. I love her. Hello, everyone. This is Awesome Ashby. Welcome to episode 3. Sustainable movement, walking, just exercising in general. I just think that it deserved its own episode. It probably won't be as long as the other ones about food. This is Awesome Ashby Eats, and I am Awesome Ashby. But I was talking in the beginning, there's the 6 parts of deep health. And so we're going to talk about deep health today because that is what I feel like is most important, is accumulating the whole scan of health, right? And there's 6 parts. We're doing the 6 episodes about it. The first one, we talked about calorie counting and portion sizes, because you really need to know how much everything is that you're consuming. And the second one, we sort of went a little deeper diver into that with like nutrients, protein, fiber are like really important. And a lot of us don't get enough fiber and protein in our lives. So it's really important that we focus on that. So go check out the previous episode if that's what if you missed it, because it's really good. And it's really important to get those numbers up in your diet. And it's actually interesting if you can eat more protein. The problem is it's expensive. We can talk about that at the end, but eat more protein, eat more fiber, you'll be full longer, and then you'll be less likely to eat the food that you know we're not supposed to be eating. Okay, so let's talk about movement. Let's talk about deep health. I want to show you this. You should take a picture of it. These are the 6 aspects of deep health. Now, you've got relational, existential, mental, environmental, emotional, and physical. Relational, being connected and authentic with others, feeling supported and like you belong. Now let's just start there. Let's go through all 6 of these. That's really tough, I think, today. It seems like there's a lot of difficulty in connections. I feel like that's always been the case, but I think in the past we were more forced into those dynamics because we didn't have things like the internet. I think there's a lot of pros to the internet. There's also a lot of cons. And one of the cons is that we're from behind a screen doing a lot of our interactions and talking and this and that and the other. Interpersonal, like face-to-face connection is important. I can't not be my authentic self, for better or for worse. That's sort of my issue in life, is I'm always my authentic self. And I know that's tough for people. And so sometimes I have a tough time connecting with people because my authentic self might be too much. Thank goodness for a place like YouTube where I can be my eccentric, fabulous, awesome self right here for all of you. But connection is important. And I think it's really tough, connection, when we lose someone in our life. Like, let's say we lose a child, a parent, a loved one, somebody, a partner. Then connection is even more difficult because you were very connected to that person, and you go through that grieving process. So it is important to have people that you can trust and rely on. And that is sometimes difficult depending on who's in your immediate circle. And so you want to be really picky about who you trust and who you bring into your circle. But finding that true connection is valuable. And even the beginning steps of connection, like putting myself on YouTube, going to a new class, embarking on a new journey. You know, I talked a lot about this back in the day when I was a professional singles host. I did singles hosting for many years in my 20s. And, you know, I would always get people who are really nervous and awkward to go and socialize with everybody else. But you have to remember that everyone is insecure about something. And if anyone tells you then that they're not, they're the most insecure. The people walking around saying, I don't have any insecurities at all. They have the most insecurities, because we all are insecure about something, you know, whether the hair or the weight or the clothes or and it's okay. And we just have to like embrace it. You know, I almost feel like this is my own sort of like coming out party for myself. Like, I've always been insecure about my weight. I'm sure there are other things I'm insecure about that don't come to my mind right off the bat, that like are not as heavy of a burden on my soul. So deep. We're talking about deep health, so we're deep for this episode. But my weight has always been a burden on my soul. And it's something that I've wanted to figure out how to deal with for years. And that's why I feel like a lot of this is very emotional and why I added this episode. And I think it's so important. Yes, we're talking about movement, we're talking about walking, we're talking about exercise, but also we're talking about deep health because deep health is like the key to all of this. If you think that the only reason you're overweight or obese or whatever the case is because of the calories, you're wrong. You are wrong. You are so wrong. It has so much to do what's up here, your mindset, and what's in here, your heart, because your body really does want what's best for you. And your mind gets tricked. And we're going to talk about triggers in another one of these episodes. So let's talk about exercise. I am not a trainer. Exercise is good for you. If you think strength training makes you bulky, that is wrong. Many people have proven otherwise. Okay. So strength training is good for all of us, especially as we get older, because our muscles are not muscling like they used to. So definitely strengthening. But like, I also want you to know to meet yourself on your level. Again, I feel like love YouTube. I love YouTube so much, but there's so many influencers on YouTube that like do all the exercise. And it's like, of course you can do all the exercise. You've been exercising for years. But if you haven't exercised for years and you can't afford a personal trainer, it can feel very daunting, like very, very, very daunting. And so I was very blessed because I'm going to mention Tom again in this video. Love Tom. When, I first started at the beginning of 2021 and we were doing like, I think it's lunges. Like, I don't know, I couldn't remember the last time I did lunges. Like, it had been a decade prior. But he was like, and again, trainers can tell you this stuff. And if you can't afford a trainer, I'm telling you this stuff. When you go to do a lunge, and if you haven't done a lunge in a long time, I just dare you. I double dare you to do a lunge right now. And you will be like, oh, I didn't know that's what that felt like. I know. So spread your legs apart a little bit, then put one in front, up higher and one further back, and then try to squat down to do the lunge. And your knee doesn't have to kiss the ground, just come close. But it helps you when you're overweight to do the lunge easier. And that really, it's such a small thing, but it made me feel so seen and heard because I hadn't done a lunge in so long and I was so terrified of doing one. And there are always modifications to every exercise that is out there that you can do that's comfortable for you. And if you do it long enough and, over time is my point, not in the moment, but long enough over time, you will be able to bring the legs closer together and do the regular lunge. But I think when we're first starting out, again, a health journey of any kind, it feels very overwhelming, very daunting, very much like we don't want to do it. I get it because I love to relax and eat snacks. So I'm here with you, agreeing with you, understanding you, and letting you know that like where there's a will, there's a way, and we can do this. And so even if it's just walking, like walking is so important. It's so funny because I am single and I was thinking about like going back out there, but I did the apps, pre-pandemic, and I just can't bring myself to do it. It's just too much energy. It steals my energy too much, right? And I really love protecting my energy and keeping it for myself now. I've learned that the hard way. I don't want you to learn that the hard way. So, as much as I understand, like if you won't meet the love of your life sitting on the couch, and you want to put yourself out there. I was thinking of like in a joke way, it'd be so fun to just put what you really want on there. Like just put on there, I would really like somebody who would take a long walk with me after dinner. If that's what you want, that's what you deserve. And I think that's my deal going forward. Like if you can't go on a long walk with me after we go out to dinner or go out to lunch or go out wherever. I mean, right now it's too hot in the middle of the day, like let's be honest, but definitely dinner. Like if you can't go on a long walk with me after dinner, I'm good. Like I can feed myself. I can cook and I can know how to order out and I can afford it. So I'm no, thank you, because I just really want a partner in life who is like into what I'm into and I'm into what they're into, and that's the way it should be. So health is important. And I think when you have a healthy partner and you're healthy together, it's even better. And I really do like to walk. I don't like to walk in the heat, but I do like to walk in the evenings after dinner. And I do like to walk when it's nice outside. Like it feels summer goes on forever. And I know fall will be here soon and then winter. And that's how the tides turn. But yeah, I like walking. And I do like strength training. I don't do it as much as when I had a trainer. And I think that is for all of us. It's so hard to keep up with it when you don't have a trainer. Yeah, maybe I'll make some videos as a faux trainer and I'll motivate you. So movement is really key. Any kind of movement. We were talking about NEAT as in the energy balance scale in the first part of this Jumpstart You part 2. And it's really interesting because I was talking about how as a child you're always told to sit still, and then as an adult they're like, oh well, if you just move randomly throughout your day you are burning calories. And you are. You are. I don't know what your work environment is like, but that is true. If you just are randomly moving throughout the day you are burning calories. So there's that. But make sure that you know that cardio and strength training are not the same thing. Make sure you know that. And the best advice I could ever give you, I think I made a little video about this a few weeks ago. Make sure you're switching it up. Like if you walk, you can walk every day. That's awesome. But I mean, if you're doing like strength training one day, that's why in the gym they're like, I did my arms today, I'm doing my legs tomorrow. And you're like, cool. It's because you shouldn't work out a body part more, in consecutive, you hurt it, you pull the muscle, all that. So think of it like that way. So like, it'd be really cool if like one day you went for a bicycle ride and then one day you went swimming and then one day you went walking and then and that really like makes your body try to like catch up with what activity you're doing. And that really helps. Like I would give anything for a swimming pool. If you live in the 90228 zip code of Los Angeles and you have a pool, message me down below. Looking for pools. I love a pool. I love a pool. Oh, I love a pool. Anyways, I digress. I love a pool. And so it's funny because it's like, how are you going to sneak in movement every day? I don't know if it's a sneak situation because you have to consciously think about it. But whether it's turning the music on and dancing around, I do that. Sometimes I lip sync. Whatever you can do to move around is good. But I am a person who likes to measure things because there's a little science in me. And so it's really cool if you can connect your apps on your phone. You can that way like your app can count all the steps and then it'll add it to your fitness pal. That's pretty cool. And I like that. I know my friend Davey has this really cool watch and it's got to be a certain program, but I feel like this should be more available. And basically it like can tell what exercise you're doing. Like if you're doing a squat, if you're doing a lunge, if you're doing a sit up and a crunch, and it calculates and remembers all of that. That sounds so cool. Hopefully that's the future and somebody's going to come up with that because Davey only has this one kind of watch and it's not an Apple Watch. And it's like the only watch that like can calculate the actual like strength training routine. Anywho, movement is very important. It is a key part to being healthy. I want to say though that it's not as key of a part to losing weight as the food is. The food is always number one when you want to lose weight because what you eat is how it works out. But the movement part really helps your body to be better in all the ways. Like if you're dealing with any kind of bloating or gas issues or walking in general, I mean even cramps, walking in general will really help. Do I have a chart on that? Yeah, I'll pull that out in another episode. Okay. So yeah, I have a little graph of like really great foods for different things that we'll do in a food video. But this is just for movement and it's really cool. Like go on a Google or something and Google calculator for energy, like exercises, and it'll tell you like how many calories you burn per the different exercise. I was really shocked to learn that bicycling is so many calories, like not uphill, not doing that, but I do love a good bike ride. So that's really cool. And I really want to pull my bike out of storage and wipe it down and fix it up, put air in it and start riding my bike. Anywho, yeah. And so I also feel like anything counts. Sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, we're so busy. We are, especially if you have kids. You are like, again, my superhero, because that sounds like so much work. And it's hard to find 45 minutes for a workout, an hour for a workout, or an hour for a walk. So even if it's 10 minutes, it's still better than nothing, right? Right? So that's the point of this whole episode. 10 minutes is better than nothing. So great to see you today. So excited to be here. I knew it was a little bit shorter because we're just talking about movement, and we all have our own style of movement. And so whatever style yours is, I'm all for it because it's good for you and it's good for your body. I'd love to hear what your movement is down below. I'm a big fan of the bicycle and the swimming and the walking. And I do love strength training because I know it's good for me. And also like shopping. That could be cardio, right? Is shopping your cardio? Put it down below if it is. All right. Love you so much. Can't wait to see you till next time. Enjoy life. This is Awesome Ashby with Awesome Ashby Eats.